Hi everyone, welcome to Keep Calm and Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this lovely teddy bear with a Christmas dress on. For this tutorial you're going to need red, white, brown and black plush yarn. I'm going to be working this with a 5.5mm crochet hook. In addition to this you're going to need 12mm security eyes, pair of scissors, stitch marker, darning needles and some fibre fill. Make sure you've got all of those components. But before we start, if you enjoy watching my tutorials, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. We're going to start off with the legs, and for this let's grab the main color of your bear and work a slip knot. From here chain 2, and we're going to start round 1 by skipping the first chain and working 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. That's my first single crochet, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the final one, number 6. Once you have your 6 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. This should bring your stitches nice and close together, and we can start working on top of these stitches. So we'll be working in spiral. Slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and pull up a loop from there. We're going to work our first single crochet of round 2 here. Slip your hook back in that same stitch to work another single crochet. Now this is called an increase. We're going to be working 6 increases in this round. So here's my second increase, third increase, fourth increase, fifth increase, and my final one, increase number 6. Now once you have your 6 increases, this should bring your stitch count to 12. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Now from here I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of my round. If you don't have a stitch marker, feel free to use some scrap yarn or even a paper clip or anything to identify where this stitch is. We're going to follow the single crochet on with an increase. So 2 single crochets in that same stitch. Now here's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around until you get to this point. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round your stitch count should be 18. We're now going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, and you're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round you're going to need 18 single crochets in a row. At the end of one round of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 18. We're now going to start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. That's 1, 2 and 3. Stitch marker back in place, and we're going to follow these 3 single crochets on with 6 decreases. To work a decrease you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. This is 1 decrease. We're going to be working 6 of these all together. Here's second, third, fourth, fifth, and my final one, number 6. Once you've worked your 6 decreases, you should be left with 3 stitches here, and we're going to be working a single crochet in each of these. 1, 2 and 3. This should bring your stitch count to 12. We're going to start the next round now from here by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, and we're going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. You should need 12 single crochets to finish one round. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 7 times all together to have 7 rounds of single crochet. So go ahead, Work 7 rounds of single crochet and then meet me back here. At the end of 7 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 12. Now we're going to work our final round to close the gap between the stitches, so make sure that the leg is filled up with fiber fill before you work this round. I've already gone ahead and done that. Now this is what the foot of this bear looks like. So you've got the bit that's protruding in the front. You're going to give it a pinch to make it more prominent, and the top part of the leg, keeping this on the side, going to fold the top of the leg flat, and we're going to check where our stitch is. We're going to have one more stitch so we can start working the next row. So this is just an extra stitch in between. So work 1 single crochet so that the stitch that you finished with is directly at the back of the foot. From here you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch and guide it to come out from the stitch at the back. You're going to yarn over, pull up a loop and work your first single crochet there. We're working single crochets all the way across to close this gap off. Slip your hook in the next stitch, guide it to come out from the stitch at the back. If I pull these apart, you will notice that I've gone through the front and back like this. Pull up a loop and work your second single crochet. Just like this, you'll be working 6 single crochets all together. 3, 4, 5, and my last one is right here, number 6. I've now got my 6 single crochets. I'm going to chain 1, and let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. And there we go, this is one of the legs complete. You're going to follow the same method one more time to make another one of these. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Now onto the body. And for this, let's grab the red color and work a slip knot using whatever method you prefer. Slip your hook inside and chain 2. 1, 2. To start round 1, you're going to skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Slip your hook in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. That's our first single crochet. We're going to be working 6 of them all together. And once you have your 6 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. And from here, you're going to start round 2 on top of these stitches. To do this, you're going to slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round. Slowly make your way through the top of the stitch and pull up a loop from there. Yarn over, pull through both. That's my first single crochet of this round. Going to slip my hook back into that same stitch to work another single crochet. Now when you work 2 single crochets in the same stitch, it's called an increase. And in this round, we're going to be working 6 increases all together. So here's my second increase, third increase, fourth increase, fifth increase, sixth, and that makes your round complete. It should bring your stitch count to 12. Starting the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. We're going to be using a stitch marker to identify the start of our round. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a bit of scrap yarn or even a paper clip to identify where this stitch is. From here, you're going to follow this single crochet on with an increase. So 2 single crochets in that next stitch. And here's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. We're now going to start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Going to follow that on with an increase in the next stitch and a single crochet after that. And here's my repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, 1 single crochet. single crochet, increase, single crochet. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. We're now going to start the next round with 3 single crochets in a row. So here's my first, second, third, stitch marker back in place. Follow these 3 single crochets on with an increase. And here's your repeat for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with an increase. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 30. We're now going to start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch, followed on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. Now to finish this round, you're going to need 30 single crochets in a row. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of one round of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 30. We're now going to start the next round by working 9 single crochets in a row. Here's my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth. And now here we're going to be attaching the leg onto the body. To do this, you're going to grab one of the legs, hold the top part along the stitches of this body like this. Move the tail end out of the way, and we're going to be sewing these two together by working the next 6 stitches through both of these things. So slip your hook in the first stitch of this leg right here and make the hook go through the stitches at the back of the body like this. So we've made it through the leg and the body at the same time. Move the tail end out of the way and work your first single crochet. We're going to be working 6 single crochets across. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and my final one, number 6. Once we've worked our 6 single crochets, this should attach one of the legs onto the body, and we're going to continue working our next few stitches just on this red part. So we'll be working 9 single crochets in a row again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's grab the other leg as well. Now this time you need to make sure that the leg, the pointy part or the foot part, is facing the right way, because we don't want to attach the legs the wrong way around. So make sure that this is facing the right way. Hold the stitches along the top so both of them are right next to each other. Slip your hook in one of the stitches or the end stitch of the foot. Make the hook go through the back stitch as well of the body, and work your next 6 single crochets through both of these things. So through the foot, through the body. That's my second, third, and just like this we're going to attach the 2 things together. And the last one, number 6. And from here you're going to move the tail end out of the way and continue working your next round. So to start the next round, you're going to work a single crochet in your first stitch. Let's get the stitch marker back in place. And we're going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish one round, you're going to need 30 single crochets in a row. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. At the end of this one round of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 30. Now we're going to start the next round, and in this round we are going to be working our stitches in the back loops of these stitches. So if I show you close up, you can see each stitch is made with 2 strands, and we're going to be catching the back bit like this. Let's go ahead and show you what you're going to do in this round. So we're going to start off with 3 single crochets in a row, each time catching just the back loop. So there are 2 loops here. Slip your hook in just the back loop and work your first single crochet, second, third. 3 single crochets in a row followed on with a decrease, again in the back loops only. Slip your hook in the next stitch, so it's just the back loop of the next stitch. Pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that. Pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. Make sure not to pull too hard, otherwise there will be gaps appearing between your stitches. Slip your hook in the next back loop only, and we're going to work that same combination all the way around. So that's 3 single crochets in a row followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. Let's not forget the stitch marker. So that's 1, 2, 3. So go ahead and finish this and meet me back here. At the end of 1 round of single crochets, your stitch count should still be 30. Now in this round we're going to be working a combination of 3 single crochets followed on with a decrease, but we will only be doing this in the back loops. If I pull these stitches closer, you can see each stitch is made with 2 strands. There's one in the front, one at the back. You'll just be catching the back. Let's do a few stitches together. So the first part, I'm going to slip my hook just in the back loop only, pull up a loop, work my first single crochet, stitch marker back in place. Next one again, catching only the back loop and working single crochet number 2. Here's my third, and once you have your 3 single crochets in a row, you're going to follow this one with a decrease. Again, we're working the decrease in back loops only. Slip your hook in the back loop of the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, back loop only, pull up a loop from there, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Make sure not to pull this too hard, otherwise you will have like a huge gap appearing in between your stitches. And here's your combination for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with a decrease, repeat that all the way around. Remember to work this only in the back loops. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. We're now going to start the next round with 6 single crochets in a row. And this time we'll be catching the full stitch. So that's my first single crochet, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, followed on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your combination for this round. 6 single crochets followed on with a decrease, repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 21. We're now going to start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch, and we're going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish one round, you're going to need 21 single crochets. You're going to be following the same method twice to have 2 rounds of single crochet. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. After 2 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 21. We're now going to start the next round by working. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 21. We're now going to start the next round with. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 21. We're now going to start the next round with 5 single crochets in a row. Here's my second. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. Third, fourth and fifth. Follow this on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 5 single crochets followed on with a decrease. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. We're now going to start the next round by working a decrease in our first stitch. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. And in this round we will be working 9 decreases in a row. So here's my first, here's second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and my final one, number 9. Now this should bring our stitch count to 9. We're going to take this stitch marker out and finish off with this color by working a slip stitch in the next stitch, like this. Let's go ahead and snip this yarn off. Pull this out of the stitch and pull this up to secure this in place. The next color we are going to be attaching is white. So let's grab our next color and we're going to attach that on any of these stitches. It doesn't make any difference. So I'm going to be doing that at the back. Pull the new yarn through the top of these stitches and we're going to give this a little knot in place and move this tail end out of the way, and you're going to slip your hook back inside that same stitch to pull up a loop and chain 1. Going back into that same stitch and we're going to work a single crochet in there. That's my first single crochet of this round, and in this round we're going to be working 9 single crochets all together. So here's my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and last one, number 9. So once you have your 9 single crochets, you're going to work a slip stitch on top of your first single crochet of this round, like this, and we're going to finish off with this white color too, and pull this up to secure this in place. Now this is the little collar of this dress, and we're going to slip all of these strands inside. Now go ahead, stuff this head up with some fiber fill and grab the color of the bear and then meet me back here. Now onto the arms, and for this let's go ahead and work a slip knot with the main color of the bear and chain 2. From here work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's my 6th one. Once you have your 6 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between the stitches. And from here you're going to start working in spiral again. So round 2 we're going to be working 6 increases. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and final one, number 6. This should bring your stitch count to 12. Now we're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Let's start using a stitch marker from here, and you're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. Go ahead and work by meeting back here. At the end of this one round of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 12. We're going to now work a slip stitch in our next stitch to finish off with this color, as we're going to change it to red. So pull this out of the stitch and tighten it to secure this in place. Let's grab our red yarn and we're going to slip that and attach that on any of the top stitches. However, we are going to only catch the back loop, so we are going to be attaching the new yarn in the back loop only. So pull that through into the back loop only, give it a little knot in place, and now from here you're going to slip your hook back inside that same stitch and pull up a loop, chain 1, going back into that same stitch to work a single crochet. Now just like this, you're going to be working single crochets in every single one of these stitches all the way around, but catching only the back loop. So 2 loops here, 2 strands here. We're going to just catch the back loop, which is right here. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and let's carry on and work 6 more. Go ahead and work your way all the way around and meet me back here. Once you worked your way all the way around, your stitch count should be 12. Now we're going to start the next round with 2 single crochets in a row. This time we'll be catching a full stitch instead of just the back loops as we did for the previous round. That's my first single crochet, stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with another in the next stitch, and we're going to be working a decrease in the stitch after that. So slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, stitch after that, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your combination for this round, and we're going to be fitting this combination 2 more times. So let's work on this together. 2 single crochets, followed on with another decrease, and one more time, 2 single crochets, followed on with a decrease. Now this should bring your stitch count to 9. We're now going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, and we're going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. You're going to need 9 single crochets to finish one round, and you're going to be working 6 of them all together to complete this arm. As you can see, this is quite a small gap, so make sure to stuff this up with fibre fill and continue stuffing the arm up with fibre fill as you're working. We're going to be filling the arm 3/4 of the way with fibre fill, and we'll leave the tiny top part empty. So go ahead and work 6 rounds of single crochet and meet me back here. At the end of 6 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 9. Now we're going to make sure that the arm is stuffed this much with fibre fill, and we're leaving about 2 or 3 rounds on the top. And now we're going to be working a row to close this gap between the stitches. To do this, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch and guide it to come out from the back of these stitches like this. So if I pull this apart, you can see that I've gone through the front and the back of these stitches in one go. Pull up a loop from there and work your single crochet on top. And just like this, we're going to be working 4 single crochets across the top to close the gap off. Here's my third and final one, number 4. And once you worked your 4 single crochets, you're going to chain 1, and we can go ahead and snip this yarn off, leaving a long tail. Pull this out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. Now final touch, which is white yarn. So we're going to get our white yarn, and we're going to be attaching that onto this around 3 where we had the back loops, where we only work the back loops. So you're going to attach it anywhere you like. So I'm going to attach it, so isolating that front loop this time like this. So you can see there is a line there. So we've just isolated the front loop, and I'm going to attach this yarn on just the same way, which is by pulling this through the stitch and tying a little knot in place. Now let's go ahead and get rid of this thread by slipping our hook further away, making it come out from that same stitch. Loop it onto the hook and pull this in. When it comes out from another side, you can go ahead and snip this off and give it a little squeeze so it disappears. And there we go. Now let's put our hook around that same stitch one more time. We're going to pull up a loop and chain 1, going back around that same stitch to work a single crochet. All of this needs to be worked in the front loops only. Now in the next front loop, we're going to be working another single crochet. So you have 2 single crochets in a row. Follow this on with an increase around the next front loop. And here's your repeat for this round. 2 single crochets, followed on with an increase. So let's work on these together because there are not that many stitches. So 2 single crochets, followed on with an increase just around the front loop again, and we should be able to fit this combination one more time. 1, 2 single crochets, followed on with an increase in the last front loop of this round. And this should bring us to the end of this wide cuff. So we're going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch. So slip your hook in the next top part of the next stitch and work a slip stitch there. And let's go ahead and slip this yarn off, pull it out and pull this up. And we're going to move this upwards like this, and that creates a lovely arm with a cuff of white fur. Now we're going to get rid of this bit of yarn, and to do this you're going to just weave it into these stitches using your darning needle or your hook, whatever you wish to do. So I've used my hook this time. So once I've made the thread come out from the back, now I can slip my hook further away from in the arm and make it come out near where this strand is. Yarn it over onto your hook and pull it in. And there we go, now it's worked in. And that creates one of the arms. You're going to follow the same instructions and make another one of these. I've now gone ahead and stuffed the head up with fibre fill. Now before we continue with the head, you're going to stitch the arm onto the body as well. So we've finished that part. So I've gone ahead and done one already. This is what it should look like. So we're going to do the next one together. To do this, you're going to open the legs of this bear and make them part like this, and hold the arm in line with the leg and along the side of the stitches here. So this is the top, the neckline, let's call it. We're going to be stitching this arm just below the neckline on the red part. So holding it in the right place, you're going to catch one stitch on the body and make it go through the arm as well. And just like this, we're going to work our way all the way across. Now onto the last stitch, going to catch that last stitch on the body and last stitch on the arm as well. Make it go through the same stitch twice to make the connection really nice and strong. And from here you're going to slip your needle back inside that same stitch and move the arm up and guide the needle to come out from the base of this arm. Isolate one stitch like this, and you're going to create a loop with your thread, with your yarn here. There's my loop. I'm going to slip my needle inside this loop and pull this down gently. By doing this, you're creating a knot in place, and that should secure your thread in. From here, slip your needle back inside that same stitch, guide it to go through some fibre fill and come out from another side of the body. Pull it out, and now we can go ahead and snip this off. And there we go. Give the body a little squeeze, a little bit, and that completes the arms and legs of this teddy bear. Now from here we're going to grab the main color of the bear and attach it on to any of these stitches at the back. So pull it through, tie a little knot in place, and we're going to start by working chain 1 back in that same stitch to work an increase. It's 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets in that same stitch. Now we're going to follow this increase on with an increase in every single one of these stitches, and we're going to work 9 increases all together. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. After working 9 increases, your stitch count should be 18. Now we're going to start the next round by working a single. After working 9 increases, your stitch count should be 18. We're now going to start working in spiral again, so slip your hook in the first single crochet of your this round and work a single crochet there. And that's the start of next round. So we're going to have 2 single crochets in a row, followed on with an increase. And here's your combination for this round: 2 single crochets followed on with an increase. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. We're now going to start the next round with 3 single crochets in a row. So here's my first, second, and third, followed on with an increase. And here's your repeat for this round: 3 single crochets followed on with an increase. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 30. Now let's start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch, and we're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So to finish this round, you're going to need 30 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 5 times all together to have 5 rounds of single crochets. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 5 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 30. Now we're going to take a minute and insert some security eyes into this head, and I've already gone ahead and done this. I'll show you exactly where to position this. Now first thing we're going to make sure is that the bear is facing right way, so use the legs or the feet as your guidance. Make it face the right way, and we're going to be inserting the eyes 2 rounds below where we've just finished. So that's 1, 2, and when we are inserting the eyes, you need to make sure that they're in line with the arms and the legs, so it's centrally positioned, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches in between the eyes. So make sure you insert it in the right place, and once we've done that, we're going to start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. That's 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to follow this on with a decrease. So slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and do the same with the stitch after that. Pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And here's a combination for this round: 3 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. Let's start the next round with 2 single crochets in a row. So that's 1, 2, followed on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. You're going to repeat this combination all the way around to finish this round. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. Let's start the next round with 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. Now as you can see, the gap between the stitches is decreasing, so make sure to fill this up with fiber fill. Then work 1 single crochet decrease, 1 single crochet decrease all the way around, and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 12. Now we're on to our final round, so make sure the head is stuffed with fiber fill all the way to the top, and we're going to be working 6 decreases. So that's my first decrease, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the final one, decrease number 6. Now once you've worked your 6 decreases, your stitch count should be 6, and you may notice that there is still a tiny gap between your stitches. Now you have 2 options. You can use your darning needle to stitch the gap off, so you can use that on the top, or you can work one more decrease, which I'm going to do, to make this gap even smaller. And when there is a tiny little gap left, you're going to slip your hook in the opposite stitch from where you finished, and we're going to pull up a loop from there, make this loop go through the loop that was already on your hook. Now I can go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. Now slip your hook from further away, make it come out from where we've just finished, and loop this yarn onto your hook and pull it through. I'm going to repeat that process one more time. And now I can go ahead and snip this yarn off. And there we have it. So the head and the body of this little bear are now complete. Now onto the muzzle, and let's grab our cream yarn and work a slip knot and chain 2. From here you're going to work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Once you have your 6 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches, and we're going to now work 6 increases, starting our first one from the first single crochet from your previous round. Here's my second increase. Third increase. Fourth increase. Fifth increase, and final one, increase number 6. And we're going to follow this on with a single crochet to start the next round. Let's use a stitch marker from here. In the next stitch we're going to be working an increase, and here's your repeat for this round: 1 single crochet followed on with an increase. Repeat that all the way around to the end. At the end of this round your stitch count is 18. We're going to work our final round, and in here we're going to be working a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. At the end of one round of single crochet, stitch count is still 18. Now let's work our slip stitch in the next stitch to finish off with this muzzle. Snip the yarn off, leaving a long tail and pulling out of the stitch. There we go, there's the muzzle of this bear complete. Now onto the hat, and for this let's take our red yarn and work a slip knot and chain 2. From here work 5 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. There's 3, 4 and 5. Once you have your 5 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. And now on to round 2. In here we're going to be working a single crochet in all of our stitches, so in total you'll have 5 single crochets again. So that's my first, second, third, fourth and fifth. We're going to turn it the right way around, and from here we're going to be working an increase in all of the stitches. That's round 3, so let's start by working an increase in our next stitch. There's increase number 2. Number 3. Number 4, and final one, increase number 5. This should bring your stitch count to 10. Now we're going to start our next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. I'm going to start using a stitch marker from here on, and we're going to follow a single crochet, this single crochet on with a single crochet in all of these stitches all the way around. So in total we are going to have 10 single crochets. And there we go. Now starting the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, followed on with an increase. So 2 single crochets in that stitch. And here's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round your stitch count is 15. Now we're going to start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch, and we're going to follow that on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round you're going to need 15 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that you're going to follow the same method one more time to have 2 rounds of just single crochets. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, stitch count should still be 15. Let's start the next round with 2 single crochets in a row. And we're going to follow that on with an increase. And here's your combination for this round. 2 single crochets followed on with an increase, repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round your stitch count is 20. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Follow this single crochet on with 19 more to make the total count to 20. Once you've done that you're going to work another round of single crochets. So go ahead, work 2 rounds of single crochets all together and then meet me back here. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet your stitch count is still 20. Now from here you're going to be working 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, followed on with an increase. Let's put our stitch marker on first. And here's your repeat for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with an increase, repeat that all the way around. Once you've done this you're going to be working 2 more rounds of single crochets and then 4 single crochets followed on with an increase and 2 more rounds of single crochets. So I'm going to put the written instructions up on the screen for the next 4 rounds. Go ahead and work all of those and then meet me back here. After working up to round 16, this is what the hat should look like at this point. Now we're going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch and finish off with this color. And let's grab the white color or cream color, and we're going to be adding a little trim at the end of the hat. So let's go ahead and attach the new color along any of the stitches at the edge. Pull the new color through and give it a little knot in place. Move the tail ends out of the way, and we're going to slip our hook back inside that same stitch, pull up a loop, chain 1, going back in there again to work our first single crochet. From here you're going to be working a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around the hat, and we are going to need 30 single crochets in a row to finish this off. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Once we get to the end of this round we're going to finish off by working a slip stitch in the next stitch, and let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, leaving a long tail because we're going to be using this to sew this hat onto the head. So there we go, let's leave that out, and this completes our hat. We're now going to move on to making a little bauble for the top. For the pom-pom we're going to grab our white yarn and work a slip knot, chain 2, that's 1, 2, skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now once you have your 6 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches, and once you've done that, you're going to start the next round with a single crochet in your first stitch, and you're going to follow this on with a single crochet in all of these stitches all the way around. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now let's turn this the right way around. Stuff this hat or the bauble or pom-pom up with the tail that's coming out from the center, and we are going to work our final round, and in this you're going to be working 3 decreases. So slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. Here's my second decrease and my final decrease of this round. 1, 2, and there we go. Once we've done that, you're going to work a slip stitch in the opposite stitch where we've just finished off, and let's snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch, pull this down, and there's a little pom-pom for the hat. Now we can either use a darning needle or we can use a hook to attach that onto the hat. So if you're using a hook, you're going to slip your hook in from the inside and make it come out from right in the center around here, and we're going to loop our yarn onto the hook and pull that in, and from here we're going to tie these 2 bits of yarn a little knot in place. I always do double knot so it's nice and secure. And once we've done that, let's turn this the right way around, and this should be perfectly attached. And there we go, that's the Santa hat complete. Now we're going to sew all the components together, and right at the end we will make the skirt. So take the muzzle first, we are going to stuff it up with some fibre fill. Make sure that the stitch that we finished with is at the bottom, and position it centrally on the face in between the eyes like this. Holding it in place with one hand, you're going to sew this together onto the head onto the face by catching 1 stitch on the face and 1 stitch on the muzzle. 1 stitch on the face, 1 stitch on the muzzle. And just like this, we're going to make our way all the way around. And when we get to the top part, we're going to make sure that the edge is not too high. We're going to bring it down, and it needs to be in line with the eyes like that. So position it in the right place, and then we're going to work the stitches and sew it on. Now once you made your way all the way around, you're going to catch 1 stitch on the muzzle, make a loop with your thread, slip your needle in, pull this in through and tighten the loop by pulling the thread up. That will create a knot in place. You're going to slip your needle back inside that same stitch, make it go through some fiber fill, come out from another side of the head, pull it out, and we can now go ahead and snip this off. And there we go, the muzzle is now on. Give it a little squeeze and it will retain its shape, and that's perfect. You're now going to make a little nose for this bear on top of the muzzle. So grab your black yarn, thread into your darning needle, and we're going to make as big or as little of a nose that you wish. So I would like my nose for this bear to be 1, 2, 3 stitches wide. So you're going to insert your needle from one side and take it out from 3 stitches away. Now when you're doing this, you're going to be doing this by just looking at it and making it centrally positioned. So pull this out, and we're going to repeat that same process 3 to 4 times. So each time pull the thread so the loops are not too loose or not too tight either. So we're going to make them sit side by side and not overlap. And that's 2, 3, and one more time, 4. Once you've done that, you're going to now take these 2 bits of yarn and you're going to give it a little knot in place on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this bit off to make it shorter, and we're going to tie the knot and make the knot sit on the side of the nose, so we can pull it inside the stitch in a minute like this. And once that's done, we can either use a darning needle or your crochet hook to put that inside. So I'll show you both methods. I've already got a darning needle, so I'm going to slip that back into that same stitch, guide it to go through some fiber fill, come out from another side of the head. That's 1 thread gone. I can go ahead and snip this off carefully, not to snip the stitches on the head. And we're going to do the hook method for this strand here. Slip it in from further away, make it come out from that same stitch where the thread is coming out currently, loop it onto your hook and pull it in, make it come out from another side, and now I can snip that off as well. From here I'm going to be using a thinner piece of DK black yarn to make the mouth for this bear. So let's grab some black DK yarn, slip it in from the base of the mouth, guide it to come out from just on top of the nose, right there. And from here you're going to take this bit of yarn and the other, and we're going to take tie a knot in place, making the knot sit at the base. Now when we're doing this, I'm going to pull this tight so it creates 2 puffy pockets on the sides like this. And we're going to slip our needle back inside. Just like the previous thread, we're going to get rid of these 2 as well. And that's the nose and the muzzle of this teddy complete. Let's work on the eyebrows now. And for this, let's take some black yarn again and let's snip this off. And we're going to trace out 2 eyebrows. You can use some of these pins to actually trace out the eyebrow where you would like to position it, and then use one of these pins to actually stitch it out. So I'm going to just play by ear and make 2 tiny eyebrows just above the eyes. So I've got 1 here, going to go back into that same stitch, but this time I'm going to come out from where I want the other eyebrow to start, like this, And here, keeping the eyebrows exactly the same size, I'm going to slip my needle in from here, make it come out from the other side again, like this. There's one eyebrow and there's the other one, and now I can go ahead and tie a knot between these two bits of yarn as well. Snip them shorter. Take your hook, insert it from further away, make it come out from that same stitch, yarn over and pull them in. And there we go, that's the eyebrows of this little bear done as well. If one of them is getting pulled in, you can just put your crochet hook underneath it and loosen it up a tiny bit. And now moving on to the ear, and for this we are just going to be attaching one ear because the other side is going to be covered with the hat. So position the ear on top of the head just after the second round. So that's first, second, and edge of the ear is going to be at the edge of second round. If you wish to have the other ear on as well, then it needs to be positioned symmetrically. So holding it in place, lay it flat in the center of the head, going to catch one stitch on the head, one stitch on the ear, keeping it straight. You're going to sew this on. And once it's secure, you're going to create a little knot in place by creating a loop with your thread, slip your needle through it and pull this down gently. That will create a knot in place. Slip your needle back in that same stitch, make it come out from another side of the head. Let's get rid of it from here. Now that's one ear on. As we said, if you wish to have the other ear on as well, then you may, and you can do that, making sure that they are symmetrical on both sides. Now moving on to the hat, let's grab the hat and thread this bit into the darning needle. Now holding this end on one side, hold it on the side where, let's say near the muzzle, and we're going to be stitching this on so that it's sideways positioned like this. So the front we don't want to cover too much, so we're going to position it like this, and the rest of it is going to be covering the head at the back like this. So hold it in place where you would like to stitch it, and once you're happy with the positioning, then you're going to take your white thread and catch the stitches at the back, not the front part. We're going to catch it at the back of the head like this and make your way across. And once you've made your way all the way around, you're going to secure this thread just the way we've done with all the rest. Catch one stitch just on the wide bit, create a loop, slip your needle inside that loop to create a knot in place, and slip this needle back inside this same stitch, make it go through some fiber fill, come out from another side, pull it out, and let's go ahead and zip it. And there we go, the hat is now on. Give it a little squeeze. If you wish to have another ear on, you can always stitch it on top of the hat. I would like to just keep it off for this time. And I'm going to pinch the hat sideways and make it fold down like this. Now, last and final touch, and that is the dress or the skirt of this bear. So we're going to take our red yarn, and we're going to connect this on the front loops of this round here. As we can see, this is protruding, all the rest is even, and this one sticks out. So this is the one where we're going to catch it and attach the new yarn. So I like to do that at the back. So attach the new yarn on by pulling it through that stitch. Give it a little knot in place. Get rid of this bit of yarn by using your hook like this. And once we've done that, go ahead and snip that off. From here, you're going to go around that stitch or this back loop only again and pull up a loop from there, chain one, going back around that same loop again to work my first single crochet. There we go. Now make sure to actually do this this way, because then the neater side will be on the outside of the skirt. Chain one, single crochet around that same stitch, and we're going to follow this on with a single crochet in every single one of these front loops only. So, and just like this, go ahead and work your whole row of single crochets only in the front loops and meet me back here. Once you made your way all the way around, this is what the skirt should look like at this point. Not really a skirt, more like a belt. So we're going to continue by working a slip stitch in the next stitch, chain one, and in this round we're going to be working increases in every single one of these stitches. So that's my first increase, second increase, and just like this, go ahead and work increases all the way around and meet me back here. At the end of this round of increases, the stitch count is 60. Let's work our slip stitch in the next stitch, chain one, going back into that same stitch. Start the next round by working a single crochet. And in this round we will be working a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around, and you should have a total of 60 single crochets in a row to finish this round. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 2 more times to have 3 rounds of just single crochet. Go ahead, work 3 rounds of single crochet and then meet me back here. At the end of 3 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 60. Now I'm going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch, and we're going to have one last final round. So let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. Let's grab white yarn, and we're going to have a little trim of white just on the outside. So we're going to have one last round of single crochets. Slip your hook in any of the stitches at the top and work a knot in place. From here, slip your hook inside that same stitch. You're going to begin by working a chain one back in that same stitch to work a single crochet. Now I would suggest for you to hold on to this bit of yarn on the top of these stitches so it gets worked up within these stitches. So when you're working your stitches, you're going to be working a single crochet all the way around. I'll hold this on the top so it gets worked up while you're working these stitches. And just like this, you're going to work a whole round of single crochets and meet me back here. At the end of this round of single crochets, we are going to work a slip stitch in our first single crochet of this round. And let's go ahead and snip this yarn off and pull this out of the stitch to secure it in place. Now we can work this into the stitches like this. So go in a zigzag and go all the way to where the stitch is coming out from. Yarn it over onto your hook and pull this through all the way. Now I'm going to turn this the other way around and do the same thing one more time, and then I can go ahead and snip the yarn off to a smaller size. And there we go. This should secure it in place, and we are going to now snip this yarn off to finish off the little skirt. And there we go. This finishes our little teddy with a little skirt for Christmas. Let's zoom out for you guys a little bit. And there we go. And that completes our teddy. If you enjoyed making this little Christmas teddy bear with me, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.